Hi, we're the Graffs.
I'm Brittany. I'm 24. I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I'm originally from Auburn, Alabama, and now I live in Phoenix City, Alabama.
My name's Gavin. I'm 25. I'm a college senior, and I'm also a pharmacy technician. I've lived in Phoenix City my whole life.
These are our children.
These are our children.
Yep. This is Maddie. She is 5, and she is my baby, and I absolutely adore her.
More than me.
No.
This is Maisie. This is my dog.
It's Gavin's dog.
It was given to me because she's kind of a handful.
To say the least.
Yes, she's 2 years old, and she's our little cleaning crew. She's a little special.
When I was 15 and Gavin was 16, we actually met at the beach and got to talking and realized that I had just moved to Phoenix City, and of course he had lived here all his life, but we realized that we were going to be at the same high school the upcoming year.
So I started to like her. And so I went over to her house and I was like, do you want to go to the prom with me? And she was like, I don't know. And so ended up she said no. And so her mom kind of...
I had a boyfriend at the time. It wasn't like I was just being completely mean. I was dating another guy, and I had a feeling he wasn't going to get too happy about me going to prom with him because they kind of didn't like each other.
What you got to do with me? Something like that. But her mom ended up making her go to the prom with me, which makes me sound like a complete loser, but...
So we went, and we ended up having a great time. I realized that he was really fun, which I kind of knew already, but I knew that he was kind of a jerk too. But I kind of saw the nice side to him as well as the fun side. And ended up hanging out a lot more. And
I actually came to some of her soccer games, which I don't know if y'all have been to it, but they're just like...
He ended up...
Talking with her mom, ended up, making a good relationship, with her mom and her family and all. And she ended up leaving the other guy. Thank you.
I ended up starting to date him.
Yeah, so we started dating. And, we went through high school, the normal stuff. Eventually, I graduated and there was, drama and all this.
Drama.
So we broke up a little bit.
We realized that we were better together, that we really cared about each other. Right. And we got back together, but I did not have the guts to tell my mom because she did not like Gavin because Gavin showed his rear end.
Yeah.
Not physically, but he showed his rear end, and my mom happened to see a little bit of it, and she decided that we were not a good couple. We should not be together.
So it was forbidden. It was like the forbidden
relationship.
Forbidden. Like Romeo and Juliet,
we
were star-crossed lovers or whatever. But
yeah.
She didn't tell her mom for 3 years, and so I finally was like, look, you tell your mom about me, or I need to go, because I wanted to have a good, family relationship, because my family is so important to me, and she came to all of my, most of my Thanksgivings, my Christmases, and she was, part of the family on my side.
I managed that, but I did.
Because all my family's kind of like me, we're kind of...
Very outgoing. So, but Gavin, when he proposed to me, we're huge Auburn fans.
I got this jersey made. This is just a regular Auburn football jersey, but on the back it says "Marry Me," if you can see that. I had this made for Brittany, and I had it in my pocket. I wore some big cargo shorts one day to a ball game.
And acted very strange.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God, So I was like, why don't we see if we try to go out on the field? So, I had it hooked up with this guy, and he told me he looked like Papa Smurf, and he really did look like Papa Smurf. So I was like, hey, you think we could get out on the field? And this was after the game, granted, because security was an issue, I think. But I got out on the field, and we walked out the 50-yard line, and then, we're just kind of looking around like, wow, what would it be like to play on here? And I was like, oh, I bought you something earlier. And so I pulled the jersey out.
And I'm thinking he's lost
and
his
she
mind.
picks it up like this, and she's like, that's never going to fit me. You bought that for you. And I was like, no, I really bought it for you. And she's like, well, I'm never going to fit in it. That's like a dress to me. And I said, well, why don't you turn it around? So she turned it around. She's like, oh my God, marry me. And she said yes.
But we had an awesome wedding. We were engaged for 11 months, and then we had a beach wedding. My dad rented an awesome, huge house for us to stay in for the week on the beach. And our whole wedding party came down. We had a blast. I've never stayed up late so many nights in a row. I'm talking about late, like almost all night long.
Actually, the first night when all my groomsmen came, I had 5 groomsmen. And they're all, in couples, except for my cousin Zach. Anyway, so we all stayed at the house, and, I hadn't seen my all my groomsmen together in, months or something. So we end up staying up till 7:30 or 8 o'clock, the next morning.
Having way too much fun, drinking a little too much.
Yeah, and the next morning I didn't know that Brittany had set up a haircut.
He knew.
No, I don't think I knew. I might have known, but I did not remember.
I scheduled a hair appointment with him, and he could not function the next morning because they did not go to sleep. So I literally had to write a instruction note to the hairdresser telling her how to cut his hair.
Little off the sides and the back, cut off dead ends in front, and pinned it to my shirt.
I did, like a kindergartner.
And so I walk in
Teacher
and I'm
came
like,
out to me.
Yeah. So she's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Here." And so she's like, "Okay." So
it was the same salon I got my hair done at, and I did hear about it the next day.
Yeah, but the actual wedding was on the beach, like she said, but then we had the reception at a local resort down there, by the wave pool and, Lazy River and all that. And the band that was at our wedding was playing at a bar after, and there was the Floribama, and there was a quiet time of like 10 p.m. So after 10, they were like, "Well, y'all, we're going to this bar. Let's go to this bar, and we'll get you in free." And so they got us in free at the bar, and she's still in her wedding dress. I'm still in my tux. The whole wedding party is still dressed up.
And then most of the guests came too, so it was huge. We filled up the bar, and then
took over the dance floor. Didn't buy a drink all night. Everybody was buying us stuff, and
and taking pictures of us.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we've never seen a wedding, a bride in a bar." And I was like, "Well, you have now."
So we had a good time. I mopped up a little bit of the floor with my dress, and it now stands by itself in the corner in the guest bedroom. So yeah, but we had a good time, and now we're happily married.
Should we talk about why we want to be on the show?
I think we should.
Go ahead.
We want to be on the show for many different reasons. My number one reason is I watched the show. The first time I even watched it, I was like, "Man, this is an awesome show, and why are we not on this show? This is completely us." And so I watched it and kind of got jealous that it wasn't us, and ended up the last episode I saw that y'all were having casting calls and all that good stuff. And so I immediately the next morning got on, submitted the application, which by the way took forever, and told Gavin, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." And he said, "Okay, yes, dear," which is
my answer for a lot of things. Yes, dear. That's her reason, but my reason is, kind of stingy, I guess. But I mean, not in a way. I actually want, after I graduate with my bachelor's, I'd like to go to pharmacy school. And there's 3 local pharmacy schools here, but they're all kind of pricey. And it's something that I'm real passionate about. I really didn't know much about it. My boss, who was actually...
I got him the job. He needed a job. He had nothing else to do other than go to school, and he was driving me crazy at home. I coached a little girl in cheerleading, and her mom happened to be a PharmD, and we got to talking one day, and she was saying that he was really good with kids, and was he going to be a teacher too? And I said, "Actually, no, he wants to, go into pharmacy school." And she was like, "Well, really?" And she was like, "I have a job opening," and I was like, "He will take it." And so,
so she got me my job or whatever, but I ended up, it's a really good profession to be in. Like I said, I enjoy working with kids, but at the same time, I enjoy working with the elderly. I like to make them feel like, they have a reason to get up. "Oh, I have to get up today because, Gavin's coming," or "Oh, I'm so glad that Gavin came by and spoke to me." But pharmacy's kind of expensive to get into school, and so that would be my main thing. And
we have bills and things, and if he's in pharmacy school, he can't.
I'm not going to be working because as of now, Brittany's paycheck pretty much pays for the house and everything, and mine just kind of pays for, extras, groceries, spending money, stuff like that.
I'm a sugar mama.
And Brittany's my sugar mama basically. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
yes.
We're both really competitive. We both like to meet new people.
I'm very competitive.
Brittany's competitive with her 4th graders. Like at field day, she's like, "Oh, y'all gotta win. If you don't win, you're getting F."
No, I just gave him a little motivational talk. And we won every single event, and we are the champions of field day.
Yes.
So, anyways, we're both competitive. Like I said, we need the money for him to get an education and what he wants to do. And we also think that this show was made for us. I think it'd be an awesome experience to meet all these people.
Just give us another chance. We want a chance to meet you.
We will definitely make things interesting.
Yes, we will.